Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Um, so we're back with another video on IHOP, but of course from a customer's point of view. Now, disclaimer, I did get permission from this YouTuber. He gave me permission, and his name is Chris. So he, of course, is a regular at IHOP, and this is his point of view from his experience from when he had went to IHOP. So we're going to get into this video, but also like, comment, subscribe my channel, and I will have his channel linked in the description box below. Let's get into this video. If you didn't know what IHOP means, something wrong. Now, mind y'all, he ain't wrong about the times, because IHOP usually closes around that time, the times that he's mentioning. But the one that I worked at from Monday to Saturday, we closed at 10, and then Saturdays, no, Monday to Friday we closed at 10, Saturday, Sunday we close at midnight. But usually it depends on the location you're at, but he ain't wrong. He ain't wrong about the times. And also there are still some IHOPs that are 24/7, but he's pretty spot on with the time, so. Now mind y'all, as someone that worked at IHOP, or just a server in general, you don't rush the customer. Yeah, we all be wanting to go home. Yeah, but you don't rush the customer. Now, if it's 5 minutes before closing, then if it's about 5-10 minutes before closing, you politely ask them, well, not ask, you politely let them know that you're getting ready to close at a certain time, and to politely ask them if they can leave. You don't just be out in their face every 5, 10 minutes, because then they'll get the manager like he did, and they will end up complaining. Now, not all managers and servers are the same. Not not all managers are the same, but But the manager I had, she actually dealt with, dealt with the customers in a respectful manner. I don't know if managers at other IHOPs do the same thing. I don't know. I don't know. I digress. But not all managers are the same if a customer complains. I may skip through anything he may repeat. I may skip through them, but let's hear him out. Yep, yep. Now, people know they need to show some respect. But then again, there are people out here that ain't got no brain cells that actually want to show respect. So, if you want respect, you better start showing it to people, y'all. We getting too old. Now, honestly, if you're a server, generally speaking, you can give your check to the customer and they will end up paying as soon as you give them the check. If they don't pay right away as soon as you give them the check, just give them some time. Don't be up in their face because they still got food in their face. So don't be don't be sitting there all up in their face, especially if they the last customer, because you want to leave. Ugh. Like, bruh, bruh. And apparently, some of y'all be forgetting that the restaurant got cameras, so the manager can see what the heck you doing from their house. So don't be sitting there all up in the customer's face wanting to rush and go home. Cause when I was at Hop, I didn't cash out until it was about time for me to clock out. Cause no, I would actually, after the last customer leave, that's when I cash out and then finish cleaning up before I actually clock out. So y'all can chill. Now, don't get me wrong, he ain't wrong about that. From a service standpoint, some restaurants usually if the manager just so happen to be around and the server's not around, or vice versa, or whatever, and it's like 10 minutes before closing, usually we would tell the customer we're getting ready to close. So if it's like 10 minutes before, then yeah, you would have to let the client, not client, you'll have to let the customer know that you're getting ready to close so that they know that they won't be able to stay in the restaurant because the kitchen is already closed and shut down. Now, if it's like maybe 30 minutes before or an hour before, it varies depending on the restaurant, but because some restaurants, they can be a pain. But I mean, you still gotta take the customer regardless. If if it's if it's only 10 minutes left before closing, then we're not taking any more customers. But if it's 30 minutes to an hour left, take the customer. Take the customer because that's more money in your pocket, and the customer will be gone before it's time to go. Because you already kind of got everything set up to get ready to go. If they come in 30 minutes to an hour before closing, you'll be all right. Just sit them in a booth in a different section. Now, when it comes to servers and, you know, wanting to speak ill and be negative toward a customer, honestly, you need another profession or something. Because at the end of the day, being rude to a customer, that's just like, cool. Also, side note, if y'all see me on my phone or on a computer, I'm texting people, so I do apologize for that. But yeah, back to video. But when it comes to being a server and you want to be rude just because somebody ordered food, eat slow, and just wanna just wanna sit and relax before leaving, something's wrong with you. Now with IHOP, when they have people that work night shifts or working overnight, bro, you need to have a manager on at the restaurant. You need to have like a manager or somebody at the restaurant. Because the one I worked at, we had the assistant manager who, let me put it this way, whoever was the manager that night, they stayed until closing. Now, mind you, if we actually need the manager for any specific reason, then yes, we will need them for a specific reason. But other than that, yeah, at every IHOP restaurant, and of course any restaurant in general, you need to have a manager on the floor because you need somebody to close the restaurant when leaving if you're not a 24-hour restaurant. Now, if you're a 24-hour restaurant, then that's going to have to be y'all problem on who stays overnight or, whatever. But y'all need to have a manager on the floor so that you don't have your servers closing the restaurant or trying to be rude because dude, because if the general manager ends up seeing it, then yeah, they gonna end up having to say something about it. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of skip through a little bit. I may end up cutting the video short. I don't know, probably not. But we're just gonna kind of skip through to get to the later. Okay, let's see. Okay, I just wanna. Hey, sorry, I was kind of trying to skip through. Okay, it may lag a little bit, y'all. It may lag a little bit. My Wi-Fi kind of set right now. But yeah. Well, while we waiting for the video to actually, never mind. Hi.
You want you to come in here and throw some weave in the goddamn room. And I ain't say nothing.
You was out cold.
I was there.
Oh, there's food in the oven too.
Yeah, you mean.
I went to the store on the way home. What was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? It done made me lose my train of thought. What was I going to say? Give me a second. Give me a second. You made me lose my train of thought. I was about to say something, y'all. I forgot what I was going to say. Geez, what was I going to say? Oh, he ain't wrong about, about what she did was wrong. Because, servers aren't supposed to be doing that. Or at least what she did. But generally speaking, if you're a closing server, you don't leave until it's time to close the building down. Now, don't get me wrong, if the manager, whoever's managing that night, say you can leave a couple minutes before it's time to go, then okay, that's different. But wanting to leave a whole 30 minutes early, no, because why you wanting to leave 30 minutes early for? And sorry y'all. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else. Probably cooking it. What was I gonna say? What was something else I was gonna say? It was something he said that. Oh, um. So if you're a server that you don't want to take a customer, and you that type of server that you want to go home, why not just give that customer to a different server if there's another server with you? Cause you could easily just not take the customer if you don't want to take a customer. You can just generally ask another server to actually take the customer. Simple as that. I'm gonna just stop his video from right here, and I will have it in the description box below if you want to finish watching. But it's pretty much just gonna be the same thing. Okay, so with this video, I'm just gonna pretty much summarize what he was talking about in this video. So usually he's a regular at IHOP, and like you said, he would pretty much go every couple of days or so. For like a good year, I believe you said. And this particular night, he had a server that was actually being rude, and mostly because, of course, he's a regular that goes in like around 8:30, orders, try to pay before the kitchen starts hitting at 9:30. Yep. Excuse me. And of course, like a normal person would do, take their time with eating their food and whatnot. And start hitting up like around between 9:30 and maybe a few minutes before closing. And of course, there was another server that was there that he did not have, that wasn't rude and actually saw what was going on. And with this particular server he ended up going to her manager and pretty much letting them know that she was being rude, like being inconsiderate and wanting to leave early and this, that, and the third. But from a customer's point of view, having to deal with a server that likes to be rude and want to try and rush customers just because they want to go home, like, what kind of server are you that wants to rush customers and want to be rude to them and the standard third, and yet quote unquote say you love your job when you really don't. Like, don't get me wrong, some people do like being a server, some don't. Everybody's different. But if you don't want to be a server, just quit. Because you're not about to be rushing no customer that's paying decent money for for their food, and you want to rush them out the restaurant just because you want to leave early. But yeah, I wouldn't be trying to rush no customer just because I want to leave early. Like, yeah, I want to go home, but I ain't about to rush no customer unless it's about 5-10 minutes before closing, and we're not taking no more customers. Because I'll give y'all an example. When I was at IHOP, I had one customer. She would come at least once a week. I think like every Tuesday, every Wednesday. And this was when I was the closing server. Um, she would normally get the same thing every week. When she would come, she would usually get, I think, the 222, or it was one of them, one of the pancake combos that she would get with either coffee or water, and occasion and really a hot chocolate. And usually with her order, it's usually roughly $20, roughly, and she would leave a decent tip. But she would stay there probably until it's time to go. So I didn't have a problem with her being there, because she was sweet. But usually when it would be about 5 minutes before it's time to close, I would have to let her know that we're getting ready to close in a few minutes. Just a reminder so that I can go ahead, clean her table. The manager or whoever's in the kitchen can clean the dishes, and I can clean the table, and we can go. Now, mind you, usually I would have all my side work done. It would usually be just maybe one, sometimes two tables left, usually left to actually clean up before I leave. So, but usually about 30 minutes before it's time to close, what I usually do, 30 minutes before, I would at least clean up half the tables, like put the chairs up to half the tables in the section that I'm in. If I'm like in the big section or whatever, put half the chairs up, half the tables up. Make sure the syrups are good, sweet, mop, whatever. Well, I wouldn't mop where the customers would sit. Of course, I usually wouldn't sweep and mop. Well, sweep, I would probably sweep, but I wouldn't mop. If I do, I would just do it around them. But yeah, make sure syrups are filled up, sugars are filled up, the pass bar is clean, all that the usual side work stuff. But yeah, usually if it's like 5 minutes before closing, then yeah, from a server standpoint, you're supposed to wait at least 5 minutes before closing to let the customer know that we're getting ready to close in. You know, now you can't rush, really rush them out, but just got to just let them know. Now if the customer is being rude, then that's when you get the manager. If you got a manager on night shift, but from a customer's point of view, he is actually right in this case because one server, like I said, servers, excuse me, like I said, servers should not be rude or to rush the customer. Now, paying, he did mention he usually tries to pay like right after he orders his food and pretty much, make sure she's able to do her cash out, you know, and I don't see a problem in like the whole pay part. I don't see a problem in that, but having a server that's being rude and disrespectful, then yeah, you're gonna end up losing the customers. Uh, having that customer come to that restaurant. Now, I'm not saying all servers at all IHOPs are like this, but there are some servers that's like that that want to be rude and be wanting to be all, I'm gonna get home, blah blah blah. They do. Everybody want to go home when you're a server, but generally speaking, everybody want to go home. But that don't mean rush somebody out a building, out of a restaurant or whatever, because you just being a pain in the butt. And you don't need a job if you're gonna be wanting to disrespect people. Cause nobody gonna want to hire you, and the manager definitely don't want to deal with you. So what's the point of you wanting to be working if you're gonna be rude and have a bad attitude? Cause customers aren't gonna want to come back. You won't. You depending on if you get a tip or not, you probably won't get a tip. Cause as a server, you mostly make most of your money from tips anyway. So and then whatever you don't take home goes to the restaurant. And you know, don't be a jerk. Now, if she didn't want to take him as a customer, she could have just easily asked the other server that was there with her to if she could actually take him. That would have made more of a logical sense. But with the fact that she didn't bother to do that, um, yeah, that she don't need to work. She don't need to work because apparently she don't really care. So, because apparently with how this situation turned out for him, she don't need to be working as a server. She she don't need to be working with no she don't need to be working as a server. Like if she I could probably see her working in the kitchen, but or doing dish pit or whatever if she's going to work in a restaurant, but as a server, no, because customers don't like rude servers, and trust me, I've had enough customers when I was at IHOP that will tell it like it is, bro. I've had enough. Now, if you were to make a mistake or you having a bad attitude, there are customers that will call you out. But the thing is, though, you don't need to be trying to be rude to no customer, because you may end up getting that one customer that call you out, or that one customer that's having a bad day, and you don't want that because you most likely either not gonna get a tip, or they're not gonna pay at all and just walk out. Now I had one customer do that once before when I was there, but but yeah, man. Pretty much all I'm gonna say is that if you wanna get a job as a server, then I say go for it. But if you don't want to be a server, don't do it because no. Let me say this: if you have a bad attitude, bad temper, don't like people, whatever, being a server ain't for you. Now, if you got a good personality and you don't mind being a server until you find something better, then yeah, be a server. Or if you just like being a server in general and you like serving people and all that good stuff, then hey, go for it. But I'll end up stopping the video for here. I'll link the video. I'll link his video in the description box below and let you guys fully watch the video and not have me skip it. But I do want to say thank you to Chris for sending the video and let me do a point of view version from his point of view of what he had to deal with. And if anybody else got any videos from their experience with going to IHOP or just in general of having terrible service at a restaurant, hey, feel free to send me an email, alright? Peace.